Welcome to Beyond the Physical, a podcast that uncovers the secrets to tapping into the world beyond form to thrive in life and business. I'm your host, Sitara Fe, a world-renowned psychic medium, quantum business coach, and your guide on this journey beyond the physical. Each episode will dive into spiritual insights, intuitive wisdom, and practical strategies to help you discover your personal greatness. Please feel free to find me on Instagram and YouTube at sitara.speaks for daily connection. Thank you for joining us, and let's get started. Before we proceed with today's episode, please note that this was originally recorded as an Instagram Live, and you'll notice some instances where I encourage some interaction. If you find yourself wanting to do so or to catch us live, please feel free to dial in by commenting on any of my posts on Instagram, and I'll be happy to send you a DM. Hello, my loves, and happy full moon. We got a blue moon, we got a super moon, we got a moon that is rocking and rolling so many things. So today I wanted to connect with you to drop in about the moon. We've got our first entity clearing masterclass meeting on Wednesday of this week, which means the early bird pricing is actually going to end this Friday. So I want you to go ahead and hop in. So if you are just jumping on, go ahead and type type clarity in the comments, and you will get your personal invitation to join us for that. So welcome. Where are you all tuning in from? Let's go ahead and have a moment to connect. I'm going to go ahead and start with the prayer. So as we call in divine truth and love into this sacred Instagram Live space, we ask for the courage and compassion to speak and to hear from the purest form of self-love and forgiveness to all involved. We ask for the highest healing for each and every viewer, replayer, and myself. Satria iawa hu'unua puakaya satria ioniwa puku sutruo satria. Beautiful. So let's see, we've got Canada, Florida, Atlanta, Jordan. Welcome. A couple clarities coming in. Beautiful. So I also want to let you know that with the Entity Clearing Masterclass, we're meeting this Wednesday for our first call. It's all recorded. You can have access to it later if you're not able to catch the live. We also have 3 meetings in September. So the reason I decided to extend this was because we actually got a very positive and kind of unexpected response from the couple of lives that I did in talking about this and realizing that you guys are all very ready for a lot of this conversation. And that was also, what Spirit told me in June when I got the assignment to host this Entity Clearing Masterclass. So what we have in there already, that when you join, you get automatic access to one specific reading that I did with a client of mine in Rise. That's our advanced level psychic development program. I asked his permission to share it, and it was a very deep, very personal, actual clearing of an entity that he had an agreement with for a very long time. So you have access to that, and then you also have access to day 2 of the Quantum Leap Immersive, which happened to be a group entity clearing. So lot of resources already there. And of course, I'm going to be uploading videos as we go. We have the meeting on Wednesday and then 3 live meetings in September. So that's the shebang. I keep getting questions on that, so I figured I might as well just answer all of those, the logistics. But I want to talk about the core of why this is important and the core of why I believe this is important specifically to talk about today on the full moon. So parasites and entities. Let me talk about this. Gut parasites and physical parasites in our bodies. And entities, parasitic entities, they kind of go hand in hand. And so one of the very interesting things about this is that when you choose to change your behaviors, so let's say you choose to change some of the addictions that you may have, to weed, to alcohol, to coffee, to sugar. We all know that those bugs really like sugar. So there's all sorts of different like patterns that we can have. And this is how these parasites or these bugs change our thought patterns. They change our behavior. They change our actions. They change our choices. So I really think that it is very important to do a parasite cleanse as well, while we're having this conversation. So I'm actually on day 3 of a pretty intense protocol. Technically it's day 6. But I really wanted to make sure that I am showing up as my absolute best tip-top form, because when we start having these conversations, we're going to be doing some very, very, very deep reconciliation of some patterns within that have probably been, I don't want to say necessarily controlling, but having a very strong influence on your choices, your behaviors, your actions. So when we talk about timeline shifts and timeline jumping and quantum leaping and quantum cash flow and all of these things, ultimately what we're talking about is a very similar base principle as to what we're talking about with the entity clearing. It has everything to do with you being in your personal power, and it has everything to do with you being able to anchor in and ground in your highest vibrational timeline. What that means is that anything and any frequency patterns that are not aligned to your highest good and not aligned to your highest calling are also going to be getting kicked out. So that's why with this, I decided that we have one meeting on Wednesday to initiate and open the container so that we can start really getting clear on our intentions for what this means. When you learn this kind of information and when you start seeing this, your perspective and your paradigm of the world and how we function in this world will completely change. This is a massive up-leveling class as far as how you exist as a human being, as part of the collective, and as part of the way shower for human ascension. When you start understanding that parasitic entities and attachments can influence this reality in the way that they already are, it changes everything. It opens up a whole other level of your own awareness and your own awakening. And again, that's why I wanted to make sure that I'm in tip-top shape. I'm doing a 16-day gut reset, full body cleanse. Because the other piece about it is that the access point that these things come into your field in, they're at your lowest frequencies. So when we talk about the highest vibrational timeline and your highest point of ascension and your high, it's like, okay, we're going higher, we're going higher. Well, what ultimately is holding you back, if you think of it like a weight or an anchor in water, right? And what it's attached to is the buoy. Well, if you have denser and denser and denser and denser frequencies that are in your entire vibrational ecosystem, that's basically going to keep pulling you down no matter how high you intend to go. How you keep intending to go higher and higher and higher. Well, if you haven't addressed these dense anchor points within, that ultimately is the access point. Entities get into our field by the access point, the lower vibrational frequency and currency that we are committed to carrying. So by that, that's what we're talking about in this entity clearing masterclass, is that we're going into the dark. We're going into the shadow. We're going into the parts that are needing your love, your compassion, your acceptance, your personal acceptance of who you are at the core of your being and who you are in the core of what it is that you are delivering in service to yourself, being in harmony with the life you want to live, being in harmony with the life you want to call in. So when we're talking about divinity and manifestation and purification and all of this, we're going to also encourage you to activate that very, very pure, deep level of karuna compassion, self-compassion, that's going to help you alchemize those deeper and denser and darker frequencies. So again, this is why I want to be in tip-top form, because if I'm going to be leading a few hundred people through this kind of activation, this kind of clarification, this kind of purification, you can see how it's very important for me to be on my absolute tip-top A game. And so that's what I'm here, dedicated and committed to be on this journey with you in this way. And I did see someone ask if I have the protocol. I do. There's an Instagram page that I can share. I'll share it in my stories after this. I think it's called the sanctuary, the holistic sanctuary, I want to say is what it is. Beautiful. And so for those of you that haven't quite got your invite to the Entity Clearing Masterclass, go ahead and just type clarity in the comments here, and you will be sent your invitation. And again, I want you to know that that early bird pricing, it's $97 right now. It'll go up to $144. The early bird pricing is active now until Friday. So we're having our first live call in the container on Wednesday. So I'd love for you guys to be there. I'd love for you to be there for the initiation, the intention, allowing yourself to be a part of the container that is going to create a very powerful, a very poignant wave, not only for ourselves, but for those people that are in our lives that are going to receive the benefits from the ripple effect of what it is that we are doing. So I'd love to ask you guys a few questions, or invite this to be more of a discussion. I'd love to answer some of your questions, or if you have any experiences in identifying entities. There's a couple of other resources that I do have. On YouTube, I have a video that's called Drunk Spirituality. You can just search in the search bar in YouTube, Drunk Spirituality, Sitara Fe, and it will come up. It was me as baby Samantha making probably my first couple of years of making videos. It's very cute, but it's very, very descriptive of how I got to the point of releasing and clearing entities within myself. I've been doing this since I was about 22 years old, 21, 22 years old. And so this is not new territory for me. Not my favorite territory, but not new territory. So I want you to know that you are in good hands, and we are going to be able to clarify a ton of things. So what you can expect from this is the clarity in your mental focus, the clarity in your cognition, and the clarity in your direct life purpose, and the intention of where it is that you want to go. What it is going to require for you to do is it is going to require for you to change some behavior patterns. So if you are aware that you have addictions, you are aware that you're using coping mechanisms, if you're aware that you are, doing things that aren't good for you, but you're doing them anyway, it's going to help clear those patterns. It's going to help clear the emotional attachment to the behavior that makes you in some way, shape, or form think or feel that you would need to continue these patterns that are not serving you in your highest purpose, that are not serving you in your highest light. So I want to talk to you a little bit about Ascension. And again, if you're just joining, you can go ahead and type clarity in the comments, and you will get your invitation to join us with the Entity Clearing Masterclass. So Ascension, and why is this important with Ascension? So I was just in Mount Shasta for a week. There's so many things I want to tell you about Mount Shasta, but I want to make sure that I'm being poignant with our time here too. So 2 years ago, I went to Mount Shasta, and I didn't know that telos was a thing. And if telos is new to you and you don't know that telos is a thing, I highly suggest Google searching telos in Mount Shasta. It will bring you down a completely different wormhole in really incredible ways. So let's check in here with who's here paying attention and participating in this live. Who here is aware that there are fifth dimensional cities that are all over Earth that basically create these very powerful vortex energies? They become hotspots for spiritual channels, psychics, healers, intuitive seekers, that kind of thing. But who here, go ahead and put 5D in the chat. Who here is aware that there are fifth dimensional cities that are connected to Earth? All right, so we've got one very aware. And if you very aware, I would love to hear, are there any cities that you have been able to walk into? Are there any cities that you are aware of, or that you've had personal experiences with? Beautiful. We've got a lot of 5Ds coming in. And for those of you who are here and you're maybe new to this conversation, beautiful. Not at all. I love this. That's why we're having this conversation. We want to bring this awareness. We're integrating more and more. So there's different levels of awakening, right? There's the awakening of understanding that maybe the government doesn't have your best best wishes in mind, at heart. Maybe, or then there's another phase of awareness and awakening when you become self-aware, you become aware that you are a spirit in a human body. There's different phases of awakening where you wake up to, yes, your inner childhood healing, and maybe also recognizing that your parents, they did the best they could with what they had. So we get past the psychological distress and trauma, and we start moving into the spiritual awareness, the spiritual understanding that our body is actually in our spirit, that our spirit is much bigger and also far more capable than we have been taught to believe. In fact, I believe that a lot of the indoctrination in this world is specifically designed to keep us very limited and to keep us very small. So what I personally believe I am here to do is I woke up to my purpose when I was about 21 years old, that I'm here to facilitate as many awakenings as possible. That's why I'm using this platform. That's why I'm having these conversations with you. That's why I've dedicated myself to learning digital marketing because I know that it serves my purpose. So by means of ascension, what does that mean? Ascension means that we are collectively vibrating in a higher state of consciousness more and more and more and more together. It's also why you see so much chaos going on in the world right now, because as the light gets lighter, the dark gets more intense. So what we have right now is we have the earth. Who here has heard of the term the new earth? The new earth is not something that needs to be built. The new earth already exists. The new earth is a consciousness that we embody on a physical level. Here's the thing. The consciousness of new earth and the consciousness of heaven on earth already exists within you. It already exists. We've heard the kingdom of heaven is within. There's a lot of different ways, different vocabulary that we have used to describe this. So what I experienced when I went to Telos the first time was a very, very profound experience, but I'm going to talk about going to Pluto's cave in Mount Shasta a couple weeks ago. When I was there and I was channeling and I was writing as fast as my hand could write. And ultimately the encoding of the message that I got there was that we are bringing our third dimensional physical bodies into 5D. So when we're talking about creating the heaven on earth reality, what we're talking about is the embodiment of fifth dimensional consciousness. So my role in this particular masterclass, this entity clearing masterclass, is that we need to clear the obstructions. We need to clear the distortions in order to continue to support the purity and the clarification of the consciousness that already exists inside of you. So if the consciousness already exists inside of you, it's not anything that I need to do to you or do for you. Rather, me just having this conversation is the reminder within, because we know truth. We know truth in our body when we're hearing truth. We know truth on a deep soul level, that when truth is spoken, our body feels a certain way. And our mind might not get it, but our body is like, there's something here. There's something happening. There's something occurring within me that is desiring another bit of the awareness of what's happening. Well, what I was shown when I was sitting in Pluto's cave connecting with my friends in Telos is that we are bringing our physical 3D bodies into 5D, into the fifth dimension. This is part of the reason I got the Luma Vitae bottle and drinking molecular hydrogen. It's part of the reason I personally am choosing to do a deep, intensive parasite cleanse. It's that on a consistent basis, we are living in a world where there are obstructions, distortions, and distractions all over the place, all over the place. So it's up to us to choose to step forward in a way that is going to help serve the collective consciousness of ourselves, our inner circle, and humanity. So by bringing our physical bodies into 5D, the other thing that's happening with that is that, again, it's not a place that we are going. It's rather a consciousness that we are embodying. So I want to be clear with this, is that you can have a human being that is activated in their own fifth dimensional encoding, their own multi-dimensional self. They have activated into their human egoic mind. This is where the bridge is that the human egoic mind is very clear and very conscious that they are operating in fifth dimensional consciousness. It's a fifth dimensional awareness. That person can be standing next to somebody who is completely in the third dimension and has no self-awareness of their multidimensional self. So this is what I mean. It's that the new earth, fifth dimensional consciousness, is not a place we go. Rather, it is an energy that we embody, and it is an energy that we activate within ourselves. So if you're feeling me, if you're hearing this, say, I hear you in the chat. Tell me that it's resonating. Let me know what's happening. Are lights switching on for you? Am I preaching to the choir? Have you already heard this? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, very, very power. And the reason that I wanted to have this conversation with you on this full moon is because this full moon is a massive activator. Massive activator. This is a very significant turning point. Today, we can choose to step onto a higher vibrational timeline for ourselves. When we choose to step onto a higher vibrational timeline for ourselves, we activate the clarity and the consciousness that you are going to start influencing your inner circle, your family, the people that you love dearly and care about. We had a conversation in Align, my monthly membership group, recently about just recognizing that some people that you absolutely love and adore, they're the ones standing next to you in 3D, not getting it. Not aware, right? And this is the irony of skeptics. For some reason, I've been like bumping into skeptics in the last month, and I live in a very nice bubble where people speak my language. But I've been running into skeptics and people that like don't get it or want to look at what I'm saying as like lesser intelligence, or that the scientific background has more basis in understanding because we have the technology to measure what the human capabilities are. But the thing is that we as humans, the technology of our body and the spiritual technology of our soul goes far beyond what science or AI has even been close to being able to create. I want you to hear me on that. Science has not developed the technology to measure what it is that we are doing yet. That does not mean it doesn't exist. That does not mean it is a lesser intelligence. In fact, it actually means that we are evolving in an extraordinary way. This is my mic drop moment. Some of you may want to use this. Put this in your pocket and save it for later. Is that when there are people that, if you're talking to them about the shift and you're talking to them just about what your personal experience is, it's that what I like to say, and they meet you with skepticism or like, whatever. This is what I like to say, is that you know that love exists. You know that you love your mom, you know you love your dad, you know you love your partner, your dogs, your pets. You know that love exists. It's undeniable. But scientifically, we do not have an instrument that measures love. We do not have an instrument that measures how much you love. We don't have an instrument that measures what kind of love it is. That does not mean that love does not exist. So we need to put to rest the analytical, logical, rational mind that is very important in balance of masculine and feminine. But if the logical, rational, analytical mind is putting a lid on the divine feminine that is arising within every single man, woman, and child on this planet, is that there is this effervescent glowing and illumination that is taking place within. And it has to do with the rebalancing of the divine masculine energy and the divine feminine energy. That's the harmonization of the sacred union blueprint within that is bringing us into fifth dimensional consciousness. It is the acclamation of your inner union of divine feminine and inner union of divine masculine that is activating that sacred family blueprint within you. And that is how we are shifting into fifth dimensional consciousness. It is through the embodiment of true and sacred love. And it's not to say that you need to have a lover to be in this frequency. It is to say that that union within the divine masculine and the divine feminine within harmonizes that internal blueprint that awakens the kingdom of heaven, that creates the heaven on earth reality, that creates that fifth dimensional consciousness. So here's the thing. Where do the obstruction lie? And I'm going to simplify it, but this is very poignant. So I want you to hear me with this, is that the wounded masculine and the wounded feminine, the wounded masculine and the wounded feminine within is where the obstructions are. And so within that is where we hold contempt, grudges, animosity, hatred, fear, paranoia, addictions, whatever it is that you are aware of, that you are choosing, that is creating a constriction in your field, that is holding you back. So the oversimplification of that is to say it's in the wounded feminine and the wounded masculine. But ultimately, it's in your pain body. And so when you step into that sacred union of love, of masculine and feminine within, however that shows up, I see someone asking my opinion about trans. It is to me that the sacred union within, again, it's not necessarily a gender thing. But what I will say is that there are an extraordinary amount of distortions that are in the woke movement that is absolutely destroying and contributing to the amount of distractions from what is important. And the union of divine masculine and feminine within is also this level of purity of a self-acceptance in whatever way, shape, or form is truly authentic to you. What I mean by the distortions in the woke movement is that we're seeing an influence of wounded people that are really trying to get a lot of attention in a lot of ways. And it's not even just the trans woke movement in that way. It's in so many different areas. It's in so many different areas. So we're not just picking one lane and going, okay, well, that's, whatever. There's certain things that we want to give our attention to that are important, and it's really the pain body. It doesn't matter what gender you are. It doesn't matter how you identify. It's that if you have an active pain body that is distorting your behavior and your personality, then that's what we need to address. That's where we're going to find the actual self-actualization of connecting to yourself as soul, connecting to yourself as spirit, and allowing the truth of your inner authentic encoding to come to the forefront. So the trans movement, right? That's like, it's a big question when it comes to sacred union. To me, the sacred union within has to do with the alchemizing of the healing potential of the expression of your humanity, or the expression of your soul through your humanness, through your humanity. And so where there are distortions and obstructions through childhood trauma, pain, influenced by media, and I'll speak to this a little bit more of the casual hookup culture. Casual hookup culture is also something that's really attacking the sacred union connection within. The way that we see the opposite sex is a direct reflection of how we see our own inner feminine and our own inner masculine. So in some ways, and again, we have a lot of new people hopping on here. So if you're interested in joining us for the Entity Clearing Masterclass, we have our first call on Wednesday of this week, and early bird pricing ends this week. So go ahead and type clarity in the comments, and you'll get your invitation to join the Entity Clearing Masterclass. So yes, I love this. Getting to the roots to let the branches flourish. That's what we're talking about with the Entity Clearing Masterclass, is that it has everything to do. The way that entities, just hear me on this, the way that entities plug into your field, and remember, It's actually been scientifically proven that parasites in the body are far more active during a full moon. So we also know that humans get far more activated on the full moon. So we've got a full moon here. This is your opportunity to choose for yourself the way you want the rest of your, let's just say, next 3 to 4 months. Because I'm also going to get real with you on this one, is that the next 3 to 4 months, if you thought April was a banger and you thought July was fucked up, excuse my language, but like really intense, what we have coming through for us astrologically, September, October, and November, not to mention with the election cycle, it's like, get ready. Get ready, my friends. This is why I'm cleansing now, to be as best as support as I can to the community that we are creating here, because the boat is going to get really rocky. And if you do not have a personal growth method already in place so that you know what to do when you're triggered, you know what to do with surprises, shock and awe, you know what to do with how you're moving forward, you know what to do with how you want to shift in a really, really good way, it's going to be way more difficult than it needs to be. So I've literally dedicated my life to creating resources, but it doesn't even matter if you join in with me or you join in with somewhere else. Like, just get your support system in place now. If you want to be a part of my monthly membership, there's a link in the bio. It's called Align. We actually have a special going on for that right now too, through the month of August. But again, we're focusing on the entity clearing masterclass. That's the main theme, this month, of how spirit has shown me that I can be in best service to bring the evolution, bring the consciousness of our community, bring the consciousness of humanity up in a really extraordinary way. And the reason for this is that when you absolutely go to the gut, the root of the problem, it clears. It's messy, it's difficult, it's painful, it's not fun. But if we can do it together, holding hands in our quantum classroom, and those of you that have been in my quantum classroom that are here, go ahead and just tell everyone how amazing it is and how much they want to be in it. But truly, I do my best, my absolute best, to help you have as much fun as possible while we are going into your deepest, darkest corners. That's what the Entity Clearing Masterclass is about. And the other thing that I really, really, really want to emphasize with this is that it is about clearing the fear that you have that any of these things have any power over you. They don't. They don't. They have power over you because they evoke fear, because it's unknown, because you have not yet seen or understood how to interact with them. And so because you have not seen or yet understood how to interact with them, they evoke fear. And because they evoke fear, they feed off that fear, and it makes them more powerful and it makes you small. We are going to completely deconstruct that pattern. So hear me on this and think about this. If you deconstruct that pattern with one of your biggest fears, because I know that this is a big fear for a lot of people, because it's the reason that people don't want to develop their abilities. They're afraid of what they will see when they have developed their abilities. But here's the thing. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because you choose to keep it in your blind spot doesn't mean it's not influencing you in your life. We want to make sure we are overcoming this. We want to make sure that we are getting to the next level. We want to make sure that we are rising together. We want to make sure that as more people embody this new earth consciousness, that more people embody this new earth consciousness, and that we are shifting into a new paradigm together. This is all hands on deck. Look at the state of the world. There's no more time for laziness or procrastination. It's time. It's time for us to remember how to clear the amnesia. Your soul knows why you came here. Your soul is in your body. Your soul has all the information for you. I believe it's my role to help you remember how to connect with your soul, with your mind. That when your mind is connected in the harmony of your soul, your heart consciousness, the consciousness of your heart is that space within that activates so much more. It activates so much more in the connection of who you are here to be, in the truth of your soulful authenticity. So we are here to clear the obstructions. We're here to clear the pain points. We're here to clear anything that does not belong. Because you are a powerful, multidimensional co-creator. The power that your soul has to get into this body in the first place is extraordinary. And what's super funny is that we agreed to amnesia. Ha 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 ha. That's the cosmic joke here, folks, is that we as infinite beings of light volunteered to come to this planet to help resituate this whack frequency that's going on here so that we could help humanity evolve. You're here listening to this because you are one of the chosen ones. You are one of the volunteers. You are one of the way showers. You are one of the embodied earth angels. You're not listening to this message today by mistake. You're here because it matters. You're here because it's time to clear the amnesia. And there's so many other of our brothers and sisters who are still in the amnesia and they just simply haven't remembered. And we are living in a matrix system that is designed to keep the lid on. It's the programming. It's a viral belief system. It's the witch trials. It's the looking at intuition as a lesser intelligence. It's demonizing the feminine. It's misogyny. We are literally living in a world that tells you that your imagination is not real. Your imagination is probably one of the most real things that you use to co-create. Athletes use it all the time, visualization. They don't question it. They know that it works. But what's funny is that they don't realize they're using their psychic abilities to do so. They're using their clairvoyance. What we have here is a vocabulary issue. We have a vocabulary issue. People hear psychic and go, oh, no, 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 no. But you go, okay, you visualize, right? Okay, yeah. Can you close your eyes and see a purple horse? Yeah. Okay, great. Did you know that that's you using your third eye? Did you know that your third eye is your clairvoyance? Did you know that your clairvoyance is a psychic ability? Hey-oh. Like, come on, people. You guys get it. I'm preaching to the choir here. You guys get it. But it's like, it's so funny for me personally, dealing or facing, like I said, I've run into quite a few skeptics in the last month, which is funny to me because what I've noticed is that a person that is skeptical is literally cutting themselves off of their own power. They're cutting themselves off of their own power. That's like where this cosmic joke is. You're sitting there going, I don't believe that you exist. I don't believe that you can do what you claim to do. And ultimately, what is that doing? 3 fingers pointing back, right? They're going, I don't believe that I could do that. I don't believe that I could be a healer. I don't believe that I could see the things that you see in the way that you see. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. There are those of us in this world that have been born with extrasensory abilities. And there are those of us who are born as a soul who are continuing to evolve to learn. But those of us who were born with extrasensory abilities spent lifetimes in the human form cultivating these abilities. And guess what? We're living in a lifetime where the skills that you learn working in the multidimensional quantum field go with you when you die. That is the immortality. This is your soul's ascension. This is not retirement. Right? This is your soul's ascension that we're talking about. We're talking about you evolving. And that's the whole reason that each and every single one of us volunteered to come into this super dense, weird, matrixy world with amnesia because we knew how beneficial it would be for our soul. This is why your soul says yes. This is why your soul says yes. I've never said this before, but I really just feel like saying, can I get an amen? I mean, it's right there for all of us, right? It's right there for all of us. So when I got this assignment to do this entity clearing masterclass, I was like, Spirit, You got to be kidding me. Like, I've done a lot of intuitive things. I've gone on full-blown global cosmic scavenger hunts to abide by what spirit is showing me is my next assignment. So when I got this assignment to lead an entity clearing masterclass, I immediately was like, oh no. Because I know as a teacher and as a leader, I go through the initiations of what I'm about to teach. And when I tell you that July dropped me to my knees to master what I'm sharing with you, I mean it. It was not fun. It was not fun. I've been doing this, like I said, for over 15 years. I've done, very dramatic exorcisms. I've had to do very dramatic exorcisms on myself. It is why I do not drink anymore. It is why I do not smoke weed. It is why I will not touch pharmaceuticals. There's certain things in this world that link our energy to things that are distractions and distortions. This is my choice for myself. Do I encourage everyone else to make the choice of clarity? I absolutely do. But you are all activated by free will. You get to make your own choices and you get to choose how things work for you in the best way. So, again, there's a lot of new people on here, so if you're interested in the Entity Clearing Masterclass, go ahead and type clarity in the comments. We're having our first meeting on Wednesday, and the early bird pricing is going up on Friday. So I just wanted to let you know that. Siatrua oaku sutruoniawa mua hiikaya sitri yukuanwapua ka sitria. Another question that I get a lot is, what language are you speaking? Most of you here, I'm sure, know it's light language. But the reason that it's so magnetic and the reason that it pulls you in, the reason you feel that connection to it, the reason that it's like, wait a second, what's that? Why am I crying? What is happening? It's because it's my soul speaking the language of your soul. It's my soul speaking because I have remembered it. It is my soul speaking to the connection of your soul that's saying, hey, remember this language. Remember when you used to speak this language. Remember before you came into this world and learned English or whatever other language you're speaking. And I want to say that I have done many different ceremonies with people that have spoke no English, Chinese, Russian, Spanish, and the light codes. It's such a beautiful thing. No language barrier, because it's soul to soul. It is soul to soul. I see someone here asking, how did you learn? I did not learn. I did not learn. It was activated. I went from not speaking it at all to within a matter of 10 minutes of full-blown activation. I could not stop channeling it for 3 hours. It was knocked my socks off. This happened actually on Leap Day. I finally got my journals back from when this happened, because it happened in Bali. I got my journals back. It happened on Leap Day of 2020, right before March when the world shut down. Knocked my socks off. What does it mean if you don't feel anything? It means that there are layers of the amnesia that are blocking you from being able to feel it. What I recommend is just listening to more, connecting your root to the center of the earth, connecting with nature, and asking for divine guidance to be connected to your soul and to be open to awakening your cellular memory and your DNA. And for those I wish that would happen to me. We've had a lot of people in my groups and in my membership activate in their own light language. And the reason that I believe that is because it's a remembering. It's a remembering, it's a remembering, it's a remembering. So the more you hear it, and there are many different dialects of light language. So there will be some that sounds very resonant to you, and there will be some that you're like, maybe not so much. And it also, I believe, depends on the person that is channeling. Because you can be activated in light language, but you cannot be choosing clarity. You can be activated in light language, but let's say you're going out drinking every weekend. You can be activated in light language and choose not to honor it as a gift. So I do believe that it also depends on the person who is channeling it that is clarifying. So I have quite a few people also that I have interviewed on my page. You can just scroll through my Instagram page, that are also light channels that, in my opinion, are very clear, trustworthy channels. So there are many of us out there. It is all hands on deck. To me, there is no competition. As long as we are holding hands and walking each other home, that's all that really matters. that there is more than enough abundance. That's why I'm saying it's not about competition. If you want to do my class and you want to do another one, go for it. Do what you can do to awaken yourself to your highest vibrational timeline and choose clarity, choose purification. Allow yourself to have the best. Trust that you are deserving of the best, that you are worthy of the best. Trust that you are knowing that you are here to experience the best that this life has to offer. The best supplements, the best water, the best living environment. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be luxury and, we don't need to go exaggerating in lifestyle, but it's like knowing that you are here to receive the best also means remembering that you are worthy, that you are a son and daughter of the Most High, that you are created in the emanation of your own creator. That there's something very, very powerful that's happening. And in that power that's happening, it is a shift that is happening globally. It is a shift that is happening in so many ways. Beautiful. I say one day I asked, can I do light language, and open your mouth, and the light flowed out like a mighty river. It is a remembrance. That's what I'll keep saying it. It's a remembrance. Your soul already knows it. Your soul already knows it. What I do believe is that our egoic consciousness, our mind has to be ready for it. Because this is the other thing I've seen is like Kundalini activations or breath work or something that like taps into a really, really deep, dark part of ourselves. And then the human mind is like, not yet, not yet, not yet. And then you'll go into sabotage mode. So you have to have a balanced, healthy, egoic consciousness to be able to walk in this way, to be able to, and that's where the clearing of the amnesia happens in layers. For some, it's a near-death experience. For some, it is like a boom, like turn the lights on and off sort of thing so that they can remember. And for others, it's a gentle peeling away, peeling away, peeling away, peeling away. But I can tell you right now, with the wars that are going on in Palestine and Israel and the Congo and Ukraine, they are globally broadcasted. And because we have a globally broadcasted absolute atrocity happening, what we're also seeing is that we have more people on this planet praying for prayers than we have ever had before in the history of the human world, human experience. So because we have more people that are connected to their humanity going, stop, we cannot bear to see this. And we are praying for peace and praying for peace and praying for peace. Those prayers, every single one of those prayers is contributing to the collective shift in consciousness that is waking humanity up. That's how this is happening. That's why these things are happening. Unfortunately, a lot of humanity needs some really extreme examples that will help us go, wait a second. We need to wake up. It's not a simple choice, you guys. You know this because you're here listening to me right now. But once you wake up and you start seeing through the matrix system, you start seeing through the indoctrination, you start seeing through the programming, you start seeing through the lies, and then you start remembering that you as a soul chose the trauma and the pain and the suffering that you've already endured in this life. Those are not easy days, my friends. Those are not easy days. Those are wildly confronting, ego-deathing days. They're not fun. Spiritual awakening is not a cakewalk. It is not for the faint-hearted. It is for the warriors. Why do you think Archangel Michael carries a sword? There's reasons for these things. And so my dedication with you right now in this conversation is to show up to lead us through this entity clearing masterclass, which I can tell you will be a pivot. No matter where you are in your spiritual journey, beginner, intermediate, or advanced, you will experience an up level with this. Undoubtedly so. You will experience an up level. And that's why we're doing one class this week. And then we're giving a couple weeks of percolation. I'm going to keep talking about it on Instagram. I'm going to finish my parasite cleanse. And then we're going to meet again on September 10th. Spirit was very adamant with me. It has to be on September 10th. I don't know what it is that's going to happen that day, but there's something going on there that like really, it's just very clear. So that's what we're going to do. But that experience of allowing the initiation to take place this week, and then know that cosmically and in the quantum classroom, we are going to be cultivating and magnetizing and shifting and ascending, because what we have going on the beginning of September is we have Aquarius going, or we have Pluto going retrograde from Aquarius back into Capricorn. And that's the biggest astrological shift that's going to make it feel like there is an earthquake under all of us, because it is going to change our reality as we know it. So that's why I really want to establish the connection in this call, in this class this week. Really anchor that intention so that we can hold a frequency in the container by the time we meet again. And I might add a couple extra calls, to be honest. And again, that's why you want to join now, because this week it's early bird pricing. You can type clarity in the comments for those of you who are new that are hopping on. And if you haven't already, you type clarity, you'll get an automatic message sent to you with the link to join. There are two very important, very profound, very powerful calls that are already loaded in there that will get you ready for the live calls. So those two are already written in there. One of them is a session that I did with one of my clients, a real life session that I did with one of my clients, helping him very deeply clear a very deep, dark, unpleasant entity. And then we also did another one that was a group entity clearing in the quantum leap container. So I included that class as well. So there's a little bit of a stack to get you already ready. So when you join, and I'm going to be adding videos in there. I might add a couple more lives. I'm not going to take any away. It's just going to keep getting better. But again, early bird pricing ends this week. So you want to just jump in. If you're already feeling it, you might as well. Don't procrastinate. So beautiful. Do you guys have any other questions for me? We'll go ahead and close it out with a little light transmission. Lots of big energies today, huh? All right, my friends, let's go ahead and take a couple nice big deep breaths together in through the nose. Letting go, root chakra connected to the center of the earth. Yatriyanyawaha akupunuku sutruanyahiakia setriyanyawa unuwaha ukupunuka ia setri ianyawaha onua uapunuku usutruanyawaha ayakianyaku truanwa sutruanya ayawaha unua iakia setriyanyawaha unuamua katria ianyakia setri ianyawa uapunuku uku usutruanyaha ayawapuakai I atriyawa monaya iki setruan wakutrua ionwa umonua pu sutruani akiasia tria iotreya. So there's something coming in here too around rejection being God's protection. For some of you that are ascending and are clearing your channels and are clearing the awareness of how you're choosing to live in this life for yourself, there will be people that spin out of your life. And unfortunately, sometimes it is those closest to us, especially if there are an influence that is bringing our frequency or consciousness down. And trust me, it's not even necessarily anything you need to do or say. It will happen naturally. And just when it happens, just let it be, let it go. Yatrian yawa wapunuku sutruana haaya kia sitria iawanua haakupunuku satria ian yawa wamuna haakatri ion yawa haonua uania wahaia wapuku tria mona haonio satria iawa haanakai iakatria inyawa haomonuku sutrua satri I atria wanua haokupunuku sitria sitria I akanai I haakonokua. There's a really clear clearing happening as well, like forgiveness through high school years, forgiveness through early 20s, forgiveness through, let's say, the young, dumb, stupid years, the irresponsible, the reckless years. A lot of clearing and a lot of forgiveness happening through that time. The thing about spiritual awakening is that we are all very much human, and that we are all very much experiencing this human experience together. And so by being in that, we are allowed to feel what we feel, and we are allowed to notice what we notice, and we are allowed to activate our free will to choose what is best for us For myself personally, I have been several years very dedicated to activating my own free will to be that of divine will, that I align my choices to be that of the choices of my higher self. And it's not to say that I'm perfect in that way. I just know that for myself, the more that I continue to make that choice and the more that I continue to double down on that, it's kind of more like the better I feel in life. I don't necessarily want to just tell you that, well, everything gets better and all your problems are reconciled and cleared. No, because we're living through a period of the Great Awakening. And, you know, things are still going to happen, but you get better at it and you get better at knowing that you're not alone and you get better at knowing that you're not a victim and it's not this like martyr game, that you are actually really deeply empowered to live in your highest potential and that you are really deeply empowered to live in your highest truth. And that there is a lot of really extraordinary things and opportunities that open up for you when you start choosing to embody the consciousness of your higher calling. And I know that, you know, it's like, there's a lot around divine purpose. How do I find my divine purpose? The most simple answer to that is follow your greatest joy. It is truly follow your greatest joy, because the joy codes, the bliss codes is also what activates that within your heart. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to, while we're talking bliss codes and joy codes, I'm going to ask Spirit to bring that here into my heart, into my life, to share with you right now. So let's go full bliss codes. If you're open to receiving, let's go joy. I was going to say bliss, but I think I have an automation connected to bliss. So let's say, put joy in the comments if you're open to receiving these joy codes. And if you're like, I don't want to play in the comments, that's okay. Just put your palms face up. If you're open to receiving them, just put your palms face up in the receiving position. There we go. We got a big joy here. Joy, please. Yay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And again, one more time before we go into this, if you are interested in connecting with the Entity Clearing Masterclass, massive up level in so many ways. It's going to be a very quantum conversation. Please just simply type clarity in the comments here. Beautiful. All right. So let's open our hearts and bring in that joy. Io siatre io kupunuku sia wa atriania io poku anahai io sotrua ha katania wa homuna ho kai setria io wa moya satria io tria ha io wa punuku satria ha katriania io atriania ha io wa puku ha aya io shotrua ha wa katria ya onu wa puku setria wa pu ukutronwa ia ya wa yo wa setria yo. Wow, that was fun. You know what else? This is another little aside. You know what else is the best? Is it, you know how people have a dog voice and like when they talk to dogs and babies, it's like the cutest voice ever is if you speak light language in the dog voice. It's where you get like serious joy codes. It just like turns it all the way up. And next thing you know, everyone's laughing because it's like the funniest thing in the world. And it's just giggling because it feels so good. Anyway, that's some of it for you there. All right, my loves. I hope to see you in our class on Wednesday. If you're in and you want to share with your friends, families, and loves, please, please, please spread the good word. Play the algorithm game with me. Like, share, comment, go through my page, like all this stuff. Just help me with the algorithm. It helps get the message out to more people. And I just want to say I absolutely love, 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 and adore you. Thank you so much for spending time with me here today. I hope it touched your heart and awoken your soul in so many beautiful ways. And I hope the integration of this prayer meets you with so much gentle grace and ease, and that your integration into your highest timeline happens as gently, as gracefully, as calmly, as peacefully, as easily as possible, knowing that there's so much suffering available in the world and that we are here. Here's another mantra that I'll leave you with on this full moon. You might want to write this down. I'll say it a couple times so that you guys can type it in the comments as well. I am currently receiving any and all help and support from the universe. I am currently receiving any and all help and support from the universe. Let's say that again. I am currently receiving any and all help and support from the universe. For those of you that have a challenge asking for help, I really want to encourage you to say that one, let's say 108 times today. I am currently receiving any and all help and support from the universe. There you go. Let it come in. Let all that help, let all that guidance, let all that right place, right time, those blessings, those miracles awaken for you, my sweet friends. I absolutely love and adore you all so much more than you know. I know that in many ways, I don't even know your name, but soul to soul, heart to heart, we've had a very beautiful experience here today, and I don't take that for granted. I really, truly honor this platform in a funny way. Ha ha ha, the social media that has so much energy on it. But I really honor this opportunity to connect with you and hop on here live. It really, it brings so much to me, and I hope it brings so much to you. So again, we have a bunch of new people hopping on. If you're interested in the Entity Clearing Masterclass, you can go ahead and type clarity in the comments below, or you can type clarity on any of my last reels, and you'll get it that way as well. But again, I encourage you to join as soon as possible so you can start listening to the pre-recorded classes before our live calls. All right, my loves, I hope you have an absolutely beautiful and blessed rest of your day. Thank you so much for spending time here with me. And as we go forth, may we integrate the healing and the lessons received with courage, self-love, and compassion. Our session here is very much in love and very much complete. And we want to share a big, generous thank you to our listeners who decide to become Monad Society members. This supports this podcast so we can stay true to our heart-centered vision of freedom in topic and expression. We are happy to welcome new members into Align, our community that meets twice monthly for deep dive transmissions, Build, our quantum business development for intuitive entrepreneurs from $0 to $10,000 a month, and Rise, our advanced level psychic development and scale your business course for high-level founders and CEOs by application only. I'm grateful that Monad itself is a sponsor for this powerful and free offering. So please know your invitation to join our movement is here and now. Please click the link in the description below, monadsociety.com/Sitara Speaks, to see what offering resonates with your higher calling. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Beyond the Physical. I hope you found our discussion enlightening and inspiring. Remember that this is an ongoing journey, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. If you enjoyed today's episode and would like to hear more, I encourage you to subscribe so you don't miss on any of our future episodes. Connect with me on social at sitara.speaks for more insights and updates. Until next time, stay connected to your inner wisdom and keep shining your light.